The Aang Last Airbender movies suck.
So obviously some of y'all did not like what I had to say about the Aang Last Airbender movie. So if I had to be honest, I think a lot of it is due to recency bias. Now, instead of me rushing in just saying it sucks, let me explain some of my points. It's been a long time since I actually sat down and made a long form video like this one. I don't know everything about the lore, every intricacy and detail. I'm just very passionate about what I love, bro. And I want to make it clear that I actually like the movie. I think it's fairly well done. It's beautifully animated, and I think the casting is pretty decent.
The first 30 minutes were actually great. Sincerely. Spoilers, by the way, and I'll give you a moment. Okay. The beginning dream sequence, fantastically done. Turning into a nightmare, seeing the airbenders die to the Fire Nation, very dark, very traumatic. Seeing Aang visit the old air temple and dealing with his survivor's guilt was something very nice to see. He's been collecting relics of ancient airbenders and putting them on a podium. It's at this point we get attacked by the Denied. And honestly, a very great fight scene. That's one thing I can say about this movie is that the cinematography, the environments, the camera, everything about the animation, like there's so much put into it, it's unbelievable. It's really well done. It's on par with something along the lines of like JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen for those who don't know. After getting attacked, he's hurt and goes back to Katara, and they have this very beautiful scene. Katara's very understanding of him, his situation. He was close to death. Because at the end of the fight with the Denied, the old temple starts crumbling down. He did his best to keep it up. It was actually foreshadowing what was going to come at the end of the movie, with building a new air temple. But he's hurt, and he's freaking out because he's the last airbender, and it was a close call, near-death experience. And Katara is there reassuring him that she's got his back no matter what, right? She understands him completely, understands that there's no airbenders left, and that's a big weight on Aang's shoulders. This is a very key moment to remember.
The Denied mentioned something about a staff. So Aang tries to connect to the avatars. We get a little cameo from Avatar Roku, which was nice. Finds out about an ancient avatar named Sonam, who has been disconnected. Some people think this is an issue. It's really not. She used all her ability to seal away somebody. It took her out, right? It used all the avatar force she had, so it kind of made sense. Where we think we're gonna find the staff, we actually find someone sealed away, similar to Aang. Sealed away in a mountain in an airbending bubble. Aang releases him and the mountain starts to collapse. It takes everything they got to get out of this situation. We get to safety, and this is when we're introduced to Togga. And this is about the 30-minute mark when we start getting into the point where we just start rushing it, baby. Immediately, Togga already shows some red flags. Wakes up and immediately wants to attack Toph for being an earthbender. It's at this point where you already know there's a dark underline to him already. This is when the movie starts getting a little shaky. When we get the biggest exposition dump scene. Find out that the staff isn't a weapon, that instead it gives people airbending, which the turtle lines granted to Sonam. Whether this retcons lore or not, because this also means that the door's open to having other staffs that are possibly out there granting water bending, air bending, earth bending, you name it. Like, it just opens the doors, more airbending giving MacGuffins. Whether that bothers you or not, maybe, hey, it's up to you. But this is where Aang realizes he can bring back airbenders. A scene technically disguised as a character motivation scene. Who are the Denied? Group of violent non-benders. Yada yada, we need to go to the Immortal Storm and get the MacGuffin staff. On our way to the Immortal Storm, Aang explains to Togga a bit about himself, how he couldn't handle being the Avatar. Failed to explain how he was a kid at the time, but sure, I'm sure that Togga will let that slide. Foreshadowing. I'm kind of harping on the exposition a little bit because it's been the biggest weakness for the series for the longest time since the OG ended. The live-action Netflix series also suffers the same mistakes that the M. Night Shyamalan movie made. It just has better quality and better CGI, better bending in general, just respects the source material a little bit more. But their character development, a lot of it is exposition, like, I am the Avatar, I gotta bring balance to the Force, you know, that sort of thing. Telling you what they gotta do, it suffers from tell, not show, a lot of the time. Although the issue in this movie is that that scene is all the information you get. For example, you don't learn anything more about the Denied except for the fact that they're violent non-benders, feeling oppressed by the benders. Regardless, on the way there, one of the best things about this movie was the mentorship that Togga gave to Aang. And I wish they spent more time on this. Maybe build up the mentorship a little bit more, the trust. That way when the inevitable twist happens, it's more surprising. But also while doing that, focus on the Denied a little bit more. So we're just zooming, right? Aang goes forward with Togga in order to reach the Eye of the Storm, but leaving behind the gang, having them have to fend for themselves essentially, while the airship's falling apart, getting shredded by the storm. And of course they survive this, right? Sokka on the wheel. This then leads to a moment of vulnerability with Aang. Katara Katara's trying to convince him to turn back. We could have died, but Aang wants to push forward. This is his only opportunity to bring back the Airbenders. He straight up tells Katara, everybody to their faces, you don't understand. None of you do. Brother, do you not know who we are? What we went through? This was a moment of like, I understand you're insecure. I understand that you're hurt. I understand you want to bring back your people. To say that to the people that literally helped you, literally bring peace to the world is insane. That's insanity. Especially when we had the scene earlier establishing that Katara understood how he felt and was there for him. I don't know how else to put it. It was a slap in the face. Now, this is when things get a little crazy. We get to the island, we find the staff. Katara was the first to sense something was off with Togha. And when I say that Togha whips their anuses, boy, he whips their anuses, boy. After a great fight, we skip the Togha visiting Aang, and he tries to swipe the staff away from Aang. They get into a fight, gets overpowered. Even in the Avatar state, which, fair enough. I mean, we made bitch Ozai run, I don't know why the hell. Anyway, we die. Everybody dies. No sugarcoating it. Everybody died. Sincerely, the writing being as convenient as it possibly can, Katara was able to bring him back to life, but not before Aang found himself in a dark side of the spirit world, actually getting into contact with Sonam for the first time. Some more exposition on how she died, why she gave the power to Togha, and how things were different back then, right? Some more exposition. Obviously, Aang says, I can't die, I got more to do, yada yada yada. That's when he asks for help to come back to life, and then Katara winds up being the one that does it. The water, something about it maximize my potential or something. Like, it basically boosts her healing, which we are on the Turtle Islands. It could be possible, but I kind of wish that they explored this a little bit more. Explain that one a little bit more. Give me some exposition on that, please. That's something I would like you to tell me about, because you kind of just killed everybody and just conveniently next scene, we're back, no worries, no consequence. That kind of bothered me a little bit, I ain't gonna lie, just a little bit. Why even kill me? Anyway, convenient. Togha has the staff and immediately meets the Denied right out the storm. They're trying to enter, they can't. Hurrah, I can give you the power. And immediately they just start working together. We're stuck on the island now. No way out. Well, joke's on you. Aang is spiritually gifted, and we're in the most spiritually place in the world with these dead island turtle corpses. I can connect to the spirit world easily here. Who does he call? He calls the ocean spirit. Nice cameo, by the way. That was fun. I love that. I love that. I wasn't expecting that. But it was just to open a portal. He opens his big ass mouth. They go into the spirit world, funny enough, for the first time, which is nice. I want to mention all the references to Korra. I like them. You know, I don't hate Korra like everybody else does, right? I thought it had potential. Season 2 sucked. So going to the spirit world, we are greeted by like a Cheshire cat spirit boar thing. Great character. Don't know your name. Nice to meet you. Was there. Was gone in 2 seconds. Appreciate the help. It was nice seeing old Katara, baby Toph, old Zuko, because you saw them in Korra as like cameos, so seeing them in the movie was actually kind of nice references in a way. Like, I like that. So we immediately shoot back up. He helps us to get out of the spirit world. We shoot straight up, and we find ourselves on the Temple of Sonam. I guess Togha having the staff summon the Temple of Sonam, and now it's falling on Republic City. Conveniently? I don't know. You can come up with how, why. We've wound up there too, conveniently enough. That's why I said the writing is what's weak about this movie. You have to understand. It's the writing. It's basic. So we get to Republic City. Temple of Sonam's falling. Togha's an all-powerful genie on Jafar, right? Bar for bar. The Denied. They finally came. Now they have airbending. And all of a sudden they're just all pros with it. They can all just do it, right? Still don't know their names, where they live, or nothing about them, or personalities, or... And then the one girl who's having second thoughts. Don't know her name either. That's what I'm saying. Like, they should have dived a little bit more into the Denied. There was a lot of missed opportunities here. Goes from Storm to Staff to Republic City to End. Like it feels so fast. So we have cool scenes. Everyone has their fights with all the Denied. They were great. Toph having long hair was beautiful. Wish I got to see it without the armor, personally, without the cover on the eyes one time. But still gorgeous. But then it comes down to, we gotta evacuate the city, save as many people as we can. So it was just a way to keep them out of the final fight. Similar to how it was in the original show, Aang fought Ozai alone. It's just that the stakes here didn't feel as high. The excuse for them to have to evacuate the city, like, there's nowhere to go. The Temple of Sonam is falling on your... You can run as far as... It's like trying to outrun a tsunami. It's not gonna happen. them trying to evacuate and save people, maybe from the crumbling buildings. Like, there's some believability in that. I personally didn't want Aang to have to use the staff to overpower the villain. I kind of wish he did it on his own merit, his own ability, because he's the Avatar, damn it. If I had to pull out the final episode of the original show, Ozai ran like a bitch, flew away like a bitch. I don't think you understand. It truly just felt like the creators wanted to give Aang another transformation. My issue with the final fight in general, not necessarily is it out of Aang's character. We've seen in the Ozai fight, him getting bent against his will while trying to take away bending from Ozai, right? That scene.
Your own spirit must be unbendable, or you will be corrupted and destroyed.
If your will is unbendable, you cannot be corrupted. The reason why it's an issue that Aang got corrupted by the staff in this movie is because we've been through that character arc already.
Your own spirit must be unbendable.
All the topics in this movie, Aang has grown since we've seen him as a kid. We've already dealt with these storylines. We've dealt with his survivor's guilt. We've dealt with his insecurities. Him being alone, feeling alone. Him having this weight on his shoulders. That's literally in the original series. When it came time to stand up and do what he had to do, he did what he had to do. He made Ozai run. He broke Ozai, wasn't able to be bent. His will wasn't corruptible. He won easily. It wasn't like it was a struggle. It was over. So in this movie, him getting corrupted by the staff, it was kind of repeating what he's already done. Is his will bendable? This time, is it bendable? Of course not. Aang's gonna win. We know that. But I wish he did it using the Avatar state. Wish he did it on his own merit, on his own ability, maybe with his friends. And personally, I actually think the Avatar state looks way cooler. Like, I don't know about you, but all this blue, purple, aura stuff and the genie transformation forms, it's not my thing. I'd rather have the elements going around me, bro. I'd rather see that. Those visuals were always so cool. When Aang activated the Avatar state, or when he was just about to fight and get down, he looked cool, naturally. You don't need to give him all these little filters and aura and chi and ki transformations. Like, it's not Dragon Ball. You don't need that. The Avatar state should be enough. The Avatar state is what brings balance to the world. So why the hell would he need anything more to bring balance to it? He already is himself. That's why the movie bothers me a little bit. We repeat certain storylines, repeat certain character arcs. Groups of people don't get development. Toggle was an obvious villain off the rip. Especially if you know Korra, you know he's not around. If you've been a fan of the series for a while, you kind of see some certain things coming, right? But when you got to see the characters on screen, it was fun. Every second of seeing Toph, Sokka, Zuko, and Katara doing their thing, I loved it. Even the voice acting, even though every once in a while might seem a little off, it really isn't that bad. I think they did a great enough job. It's just that the writing is basic. Saturday morning cartoon basic. It's convenient. Everyone dies just to be brought back to life. Immediately find Taga and it's just rushing to the storm, to the staff, to him being the villain, to the Deny getting power, to go to the spirit world, to Republic City, to now we gotta save the world at the end. Goes 100 on you. But the movie was fun. I personally still like it. I think it's at least, my heart wants to say like a 6 out of 10 because it disappoints me, bruh. There's so much left to be desired, man. So much left to be desired. You guys deserve better. And after 20 years being a kid growing up with this show, the ones who grew up with this thing deserve better too. With that said, if you like it, shit, good. I'm glad because it is pretty decent. You just deserve better. The characters deserve better. Aang deserved better. I was even hoping at the end that they would actually hint to Katara having a baby because he is the one that brings airbenders back, and I think it would have been a nice little touch to like, you are bringing back your people, you know? Even though there's a chance it could be a non-bender, but I think it would have been nice, like hope, right? You're giving hope to the future. I like the acolytes being created at the end. I love the air temple being built. I loved the nod to the bisons, that they found the bisons. That was great because that was never explained in Korra. Korra, all the bisons were back and you were just like, wow, that was a problem with Korra at the time. We got it settled now. We know how the bisons are around. It was an ancient island that hadn't been touched in centuries. That works. This took forever. Earlier, I accidentally didn't hit the record, so the audio is a little off in the first few clips in the beginning. But if you got through this, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for hearing my little tangents. I just wish that the Denied were focused on a little bit more. Maybe the mentorship with Taga was a little longer. Not so obvious that he's the villain, because as soon as he wakes up, he already goes to attack Toph, and it was already red flag number 1. It's like, oh, you know where this is going. He was the one sealed away by Sonam. She died because she sealed him away. You watched enough movies, you know what's coming. Everyone keeps telling me I'm Unk now. Y'all are just really young and inexperienced, I think, at this point. It comes with age, right? Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have, I appreciate you. I'll catch you on the next one.